Hello, my friends, and welcome to Design Your Fabulous Next Chapter. I'm Sharri, and this channel is your place to discover joy, purpose, possibility, all after age 50. Today, I'm beginning something new, something small but powerful, and I want you to come with me. Over the next 8 weeks, what I'm doing is I'm adding one tiny habit each week. So there'll be 8 habits in total to bring me closer to the next chapter that I want. And I hope the same happens to you. If you stay to the end of this video, I'm going to share with you my first tiny habit that I absolutely know all of you are going to want to incorporate into your daily life. But why tiny habits? It's not massive reinvention. It's not this great big huge list of New Year's resolutions. These are small, doable shifts that actually stick. We've all done the New Year's resolutions. They don't stick, do they? They're just kind of up there in fantasy land. As I remind readers in my book, your next chapter, whatever that looks like, is built on your habits. Now, I've tried those big reinventions before. Like I said, I've tried those New Year's resolutions. I love big vision boards. I do, absolutely, but they don't last. I've learned that dreams, to make dreams happen, need a simple, steady plan. My years in Paris actually showed me this and taught me this. The walking instead of driving and how that changes your body. Taking time with my clothes before I go anywhere. Caring for my skin just a little bit each day and how that actually changes my skin. These tiny habits truly were the architecture of my fabulous next chapter. And so I want to reincorporate that once again. And I want you to join me on this. Because, ladies, you know what? At this age, we're not looking for miracles. We're building lives with purpose, with joy, and sustainability. Now, this is how it will work. Each week, I am going to introduce one tiny new habit. I'm going to explain why it matters, and I'm going to share my honest progress. You will get to see the real progress, not the glossy Instagram after whatever. I'll continue those tiny habits. I'm going to introduce them and continue them over on Substack. Substack just gives us a little bit more opportunity to go a little bit deeper into what the results of these tiny habits will mean. So if this idea appeals to you, I want you to go join me over on Substack. It's free, so why not, right? Remember, if you're unsatisfied with your life as it currently is, I should say, just taking one small action at a time is going to change everything. It really will. So, what are some of the tiny habits I'm considering? I'm thinking about getting back into playing the piano, and that means I might have to buy a keyboard. I might want to try listening to classical music for my emotional help. Maybe I want to try some online yoga, some chair yoga, cutting candy out of my life. This is a new habit after getting influenza A or whatever it's called. I said, candy has got to go. I want to upgrade my skincare routine, and that's what I'm talking about today. At the very end, I'm going to talk about something that I think you're all going to love. Why now? Well, I don't know about you, but 2025 was a heavy year. I had to adjust to a new season of grandmothering. My daughter came back into my life, thank heavens, and with her came her 6 children, little children, young children. Now, then I also experienced some changes with my son that impacted my relationship with those grandchildren who are all older. They're teenagers, not that old, but teenagers. Well, all of my grandchildren, except the very oldest who's in college, is in Minnesota. So I travel quite often between Boston and Minnesota. So that was a huge change. And then there was work. I finished my book and I started to think, what am I all about? What am I trying to accomplish? What is it I'm trying to give you? What what is it that I'm after? So that took a lot of time, that rebranding, if you want to call it that. It was no small feat. And what I realized though is that dreaming big was great, but I was not anchoring those dreams with supportive habits. And so consequently, nothing was changing. I just had dreams. And some of you might be able to relate to that. My word for 2026 is strategic focus. And strategic focus is all about tiny habits, isn't it? It fits. Tiny habits fit perfectly with that whole concept of 2026. I'm going to strategically focus all of my resources, my time, my health, my energy, all of that. So let's jump into my first tiny habit. That's why you're here today. First of all, it's all about red light. You can get all kinds of information online about red light and how it improves collagen growth in skin. There's just a load of information. It's not a new concept. But what was different for me is that I have had a red light machine before, and I thought, no, I'll do that once a week, once every other day, not even every other day, like 3 times a week. And honestly, nothing changed. And so my tiny habit was I'm going to do this every single day. When we do something every single day, suddenly it becomes a part of our whole routine. 3 times a week, unless you're super self disciplined, I am not. I would find weeks would go by and I never got to it. And I'm like, oh gosh, that red light isn't working. Of course it's not working. You're not doing it, right? So, anyways, I have been doing red light every day for a month. And because I wanted it to be something I would share with you, but I really wanted to know if it's made a difference in my skin. And it has. This whole area on my cheeks gets very, very crepey, I call it. Creepy and crepey, with multiple lines in every which direction. Doing the red light every single day has significantly smoothed this out. And many of those lines have gone away. Now I need something for my arms, right? But, anyways, not all red light, though, is the same. And you could see that there are some that are very, very expensive and some that are very, very cheap. So I went to my friend, Dr. Naima Ruffin, she has a company called Face Fitness. And in Face Fitness, she teaches you how to do all sorts of exercises to re-strengthen the muscles in your face to kind of hold all this up. I'm not into surgery, so I have to do the work to keep all of this from ending up down here where my chest used to be. Anyways, so Dr. Naima gave me this particular company, and let's see if I can make sure that you see it. It is called the Ellipsa. If you could see it right here, the Ellipsa. It's really almost clinically good, if that makes any sense. You open it up, you put the wings down, you put it over your face, and you can get a little bit of your neck, lay flat on a surface, and you turn it on. And the Ellipsa goes on for 15 minutes. It's fantastic. But, there's always a but, right? I travel. I was telling you about some of the challenges of 2025 for me and how I needed to have something that I could travel with. And this takes up way too much space in a suitcase. And I thought, okay, if I'm going to do this, I've got to find something that I can travel with. The first thing I did is what every influencer out there has promoted, which is the Foreo system. And ladies, this was so disappointing. It comes in a box like this, very pretty. Everyone runs specials. Mine came and it looked like it had been a return, like the box had been opened, and it was kind of strange. And then I tried to use it, and all I got was the blue light. The blue light's great for acne, but at 69 years old, acne is not my problem. Wrinkles are my problem. And I contacted the company. I have contacted the company numerous times. I'm still in contact with the company because I want my money back. And they keep coming back with, oh, you have to register the warranty, and then we see if the warranty covers it, et cetera, et cetera. If a company doesn't stand behind their product, instantly, I can't recommend it to you, and I refuse to tout them in any way, shape, or form, regardless of what kind of specials they offer. I would not go the Foreo direction. I went back to Dr. Naima, who I should have gone to from the beginning, and she recommended a company by the name of Omnilux. Now, I'll explain in just a minute why I have the Omnilux for men, but men or women, this is what it looks like. It comes very flat. It has a little case, very flat. You can easily put it in your suitcase. What's also cool is it comes with adapters because you have to charge it about every 3-4 days if you use it every day like you should. And it's got adapters in the actual box for places that you may be going, such as England or Europe or Asia or whatever, wherever you're going. This you just put on your face and click the button, and away you go for, in this case, it's 10 minutes. I do this every single day. And you might say, Sharri, how do you work that into your schedule? Well, first of all, when you do red light, you have to have clean skin, nothing on it. So I get up in the morning, leave pajamas on, get up in the morning, wash my face, and then I sit down and I put on my mask, whether I'm using the big one or I'm using the travel one. I lay down or I sit down and close my eyes, and I do kind of my morning prayer, my morning meditation to kind of pull myself together. You're talking 10, 15 minutes. So this is not hugely time consuming. And I have found, honestly, that it has actually centered me in the morning as well as helped my skin, because these tiny habits are all about making a difference and incorporating something in your life that is going to actually shift this next chapter. So, my friends, I want you to pick just one tiny habit this week. Maybe you get up in the morning and you do a few minutes of stretching. Maybe you want to do chair yoga via YouTube every day. Maybe you want to try out some skincare masks, or you want to try this red light. Highly, highly recommend it. I have gotten so many colds in 2025, and I recognize that that's candy. Because if we know anything about sugar, we know that sugar eats up vitamin C. So, and actually depletes your immune system. That's one for me. May not be for you, but there might be something else you want to work on. Just make sure that it's nothing huge. It's just one new little habit that you are going to incorporate in every single day. When we choose those small, sustainable habits, we actually change our lives in ways that will stick. It's not like those big New Year's resolutions. It's the little teeny habits that are going to stick and actually take us in a different direction, a more positive direction. So let's do this together. Now, if this episode encouraged you, I want you, if you haven't already, subscribe to this channel. This is called Your Next Chapter. It's all about your next chapter. And then come join me over on Substack. Substack is free, so it's a very easy join. And I call Substack where we do the work. It's where inspiration turns into action. In Substack, I will sometimes write give you a little bit more information as to what's going on around a particular topic in my own life, and with the hope that it helps you. I also give you practical exercises that you can do to potentially, shift your next chapter. Because remember, your next chapter can actually be one of your best chapters. Why not? So you will find all the links you need below this video. And let's just keep designing what comes next. that next chapter that is right in front of us. Let's do it together. I want to thank you for joining me today and take care, everyone. I'll see you soon. Bye for now.